I just finished my workout, recorded all of it, and then did my breath work and was recording all of it. And I'm trying to think of ways, to inspire, and which begs the question to each of you: what inspires you? And I would love some engagement here. I would love, you know, um, to hear from you. What what things or actions or quotes or what do you do that really motivates you, or excites you, or you know what's the reason you get out of bed in the morning? And I want to hear from you guys. I talk about balance a lot, right? Honoring the spirit and our spiritual journey and what we came here for, and honing the physical, and so um, living from a passion, purpose-driven place. Living passionately on purpose. Um, doing what's in our heart while honing the physical body, living in a strong, fit, healthy vessel with lots of energy, building a solid platform, having lots of money, manifesting, love-filled relationships, and everything that means, and doing both, honoring the spirit and our spiritual journeys and what we came here for, while honing the physical, brings us into a balance. And as I was doing my breath work, my breathing practice after training, it had dawned on me, uh, not only am I, or are we able to um, really control our breathing. So within 15 minutes, what I was doing with the cyclical breathing was actually manipulating my oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, dropping my carbon dioxide levels in the body, raising my oxygen levels. And then within 3 rounds, within 15 minutes, my resting heart rate went from essentially 120 almost beats per minute down to 66, and then it leveled off somewhere around between 75 and 80. So within 15 minutes, I was back to a resting heart rate.
Group therapy with Above and Beyond.
Celebrating 20 years in the business. This week's guest mix comes from two guys. But not only was I doing that, when I was liberating the energy, when I was pulling it up, and into the brain, I was really pushing up against the pineal gland, and what that does is it starts to create a kind of a euphoric type of feeling. Um, and there's all kinds of Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the pineal gland, and how it essentially it's responsible for producing serotonin in the daytime when we sense light, and then in the absence of light, serotonin gets changed into melatonin. But then when we actually use our breath, we take the breath up the from the kind of the lower centers. The breath then creates a compressive force, which is called a piezoelectric effect, which is essentially means to squeeze or to push, and that compressive force creates a mechanical stress against the pineal gland. Now, that mechanical stress can actually change um, the pineal gland into a transducer receiver to the unified field, to this infinite sea of potential energy that we're literally swimming in. Nassim Harriman talks about it, and he says, essentially every centimeter cube square of space is infinitely dense. It holds 10 to the 93 order of magnitude um, of energy density, and which is 10 to the 39 orders of magnitude greater than, if you were to take all of the mass of our entire universe and squash it into the same centimeter cube square of space, it comes out to 10 to the 55 grams. So in each centimeter cube square of space, there are 10 to the 39 orders of magnitude greater energy density than all of the mass in the known universe. And but it's so dense, it's so infinitely energetic that it cancels out. So it looks like actually nothing's going on. Meanwhile, we're swimming in this sea of potential. So that breath really activates the pineal gland, turns it into a transducer receiver, which connects us to this unified field. And so the field is energy, all energy is frequency, and all frequency essentially is information. And as the breath creates that piezoelectric effect, that squeezing or that pushing effect, that mechanical stress, it activates the little calcium carbonate crystals. There are little calcium carbonate crystals within the pineal gland. And once they get activated, that mechanical stress turns it into an electromagnetic field, right? And that field, just like a TV or a radio station, the information comes in one way, and then it decodes it and turns it into information or sound or imagery that we can perceive through our senses. The pineal gland will do the same thing when that mechanical stress is created and connects us to this unified field, this infinitely dense in each centimeter cube square of space unified field of energy, of frequency, of information. And just like the radio or TV, when that information comes back into the pineal gland decodes it into imagery that the body can actually understand. And again, this is from my time, my study with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and what that does, um, along with bringing the brain and heart into coherence, that activation of the glands, and then the upgrade of melatonin into essentially like 6 super derivatives, super powerful antioxidants, DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, which is the most powerful hallucinogenic known to man, a benzodiazepine, which essentially is a Valium, which anesthetizes the thinking brain, a bioluminescent phosphorescent molecule, the same molecule that's found in electric eels. So we literally have the raw materials within us, to upgrade the pineal gland, to upgrade melatonin into this thing that connects us to this infinite sea of potential energy, which is information that is all around us. And when that happens, and when we come back to ourselves, we start to become a conduit, a channel for source information to flow to and through us. And we have biological upgrades. We are able to perceive more of reality. We're only able to perceive one billionth of the light spectrum that's actually here. So we're actually, able to perceive a little bit more. We're able to start perceiving, radio waves and microwaves and UV rays and auric fields and this sort of thing, energies that are always here. But, and it's just like, for example, dogs can hear whistles that we can't, right? So that's a frequency that's outside the realm of our 5 senses. But if you upgrade the senses through connecting to this field, then all of a sudden you're upgrading your ability to perceive more of what's actually going on in this reality, more than the 1/1 billionth that we tend to perceive through our senses in this moment. The other thing that the breath does from a physiological standpoint is so that's, there's so much that's going on. The breath lowers the carbon dioxide levels, increases your oxygen saturation, right? From I think I started at 96 after my workout to I was up to 99% oxygen saturation. With the carbon dioxide levels going down, essentially what happens is Alkalinity increases and inflammation goes down because most of the acid in the system is from carbonic acid. You reduce the carbon dioxide, you reduce the carbonic acid, and therefore the inflammation in the system, increasing alkalinity automatically. Um, as you do the hold, you noticed I held my breath with no air in the lungs. Carbon dioxide slowly building back up. Oxygen is no longer free in the system. It's bound to the hemoglobin. It's bound to our red blood cells in the system, and that binding to the red blood cells allows the cells themselves and the stem cells to come out because neither of them likes oxygen. So it allows them to come out and the cells start cleaning house. They look for damaged cells, precancerous cells, and they start cleaning up. And the stem cells come out looking for damaged areas and start to repair those damaged areas. Right, and then the breath in, like I said, takes it from those lower centers, bumps it up against the pineal gland, creates that mechanical stress, and activates um, the gland and turns it into that transducer receiver. So there's a lot going on, and for me, these are the pieces of the puzzle. These are the components that um, bring us closer to balance, bring us closer to knowing ourselves. I also notice that it balances the hemispheres of the brain when I take that breath up in there. It lights the brain up, and there are, in terms of the physiology of the breath itself, um, there are, I believe there are opioids and cannabinoids, but I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. That are also released into the system. So we've got our own pharmacy within that after your training you can incorporate some of this stuff, and it starts to open up a whole other part of yourself, part of you to yourself. Um, you come to a deeper understanding, uh, and the last thing with the breath is you're going to start to release more. So when you're training, you're going to be releasing um, you know all the feel good hormones. When you get that runner's high, you get the same kind of high from training, or at least I do. So you're turning the system on, you're firing it up, but then as you do the breath work afterwards, you're taking the stress response off of the system that you put on it, but you're still elevating and releasing endorphins, feel good hormones, oxytocin, serotonin, more so, right? And so you get this euphoric feeling that comes with the breath work, doing it post training. And for me, I feel like something just hit me in this session, and I've been doing this, my disciplines for a really long time, and something just hit me today about um, trying to piece it all together, or to package it all together. And so I'll end this the way I started. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what inspires you, because I want to um, start doing things, and showing things, and living that inspired life. And I want you guys to come with me on this journey, because I really feel like it's if we inspire each other, if we lift each other up, if we support each other, if we leverage what each other's doing, and really come together and unify, then we're gonna really elevate who we are and what we're capable of. And it's so much more than just this. I love training, and you're going to see from the workout today. I love it. But it's one component, as is the nutrition, as is you know even the thinking and the breathing. They're just one component. So if we start to add all these components together, we start to clarify the picture of who we are and what we're truly capable of. And I want to inspire each of you to live into that, that which you are truly capable of, um, and live your authentic passion, purpose-driven desires. Honor your spirit and hone your physical, and come to a balance within and without, connecting to that field, so that you evolve and transform in your own lives, and literally um, embody the future you that you've always known yourself to be, and live or dream your dreams with open eyes, and make them come true.